just some soft music for a few beats.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Last time it caught me off
No,
guard,
you
and I
were
was like,
perfect. Whatever you did was
okay.
that was exactly
Okay,
right.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. Even if I catch you off guard, you still got
Yeah,
swag.
because we're going from the evocation into
Exactly.
prayers of the people, right?
Exactly.
Like,
So
okay.
it's like a little moment, just to light the
Yeah.
flags, and then we're back up doing other stuff.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Let's see. Okay. Good morning, Unity of Gainesville. It's so nice to see everybody here on our Gratitude Sunday. I love gratitude. Sometimes it's so hard to do. And my experience this week has been that it was really, really hard to do until I started to sing it. And I couldn't just think it. I really had to bring it into my body, and needed that embodied vibratory experience to actually kick it into gear. So that's what I want to offer to us as a community this morning is like, let's sing it. Let's sing our gratitude and shake it up and usher in our Thanksgiving holidays. So I've got a gratitude medley, both of them by Karen Drucker, whom I love. And so these are both chants, and so I'll invite you to sing along as soon as you're ready, as soon as you've heard enough and you just can't wait to start singing. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed. Sing with me. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. This time, let's sing, I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. Keep singing. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. I think we need to stand up for this one. What do you think? All right? It needs to be a little active. You can really feel it, okay? Give a little dance if you want. Love is my source. Love is my power, yes. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our Sunday service this morning. I know on my drive here, I felt like fall had finally arrived. I felt the nice temperature, and it just felt like being that feeling when you were a child and you'd go outside and you were happy. I had that feeling this morning, and I'm really glad to be here with all of you today. Also want to welcome everyone who's online. I know we have an audience here today online. Thank you for being here. I want to just briefly ask you if you haven't silenced your phone. I know I forget to do it all the time. If you please take a moment to silence your phones. My name is Roderick, or I go by Rodrigo. That's my actual name, but Rodrigo. I'd like to now welcome any newcomers. Do we have any newcomers? Is this the first time that you've attended the service here at Unity of Gainesville? Looks like everyone here's been here before, so welcome again. We are going to start off by reading our core values together. So over here on the wall, we can start with a vision. If you'll do this together, centered in divine love and wisdom, we joyfully create a world united in positive spirituality. Mission, together, through prayer, meditation, spiritual education, and service, we put God's love into action. In our core values, together, I am spirit-led. I am love. I am generosity. I am gratitude. I am inclusivity. And also, just one more time, if we put our hands together for our musician today, Penta. She does such a wonderful job, so much light. Thank you. And as a reminder, our theme is we're on the Crown Chakra, which is the 1,000-petaled lotus. And the colors that we are using to represent is purple or violet and white. So those are our thought forms that we use to visualize our crown chakra. So we have our anchoring thought. Our anchoring thought is the kingdom of God is within us. Let's take a moment and say that together. The kingdom of God is within you. Sorry. Yes. Okay, thank you. Now I'm going to hand it over to Reverend Ryan.
Hey, y'all, what's up? I said, what's up?
What's up?
If y'all don't know, we in here ready to party, okay? I told y'all one day we'll have a DJ, and it's going to happen, okay? For now, we got Penta, who is holding it down, okay? So this is our moment of evocation. And in evocation, as I say many weeks, is a reminder of what we already know, okay? So we don't brush our teeth once and say we did it, right? We definitely don't eat one meal and said we got it, right? And so this is our opportunity every single week that we're together to be reminded of the truth that just is. So we sound the gong, and I invite you to take a cleansing breath. We sound the gong the first time, affirming that there is only love. And that love permeates all things and has many names. God, Source, Supreme Being, whatever name we choose, we affirm that there is only that love. We sound the gong a second time, affirming that because there is only love, who are we? We are the articulation of love, the embodiment of love, the reflection of love. the arms and legs and toes and feet of love. So we sound the gong for that reminder. We sound the gong a third and final time, affirming that because there is only love and we are the articulation of love, we are the embodiment of love. We sound the gong for a third and final time for the reminder to bring all of who we are into everything we experience. And so it is. All right. Question. Did we have any birthdays last week? Any birthdays? Sanithia? Okay, I saw a hand just slap her. So you better say something. Happy birthday. Any other birthday? Yes. Yes. That's a true friend who said, girl, it's your birthday. Any other birthdays? All right. When was it? The 13th. Come on, Brock. 13th. Turned 23. Yes. Happy birthday, Brock. Anybody else? So we love celebrating birthdays because, you know, it's a thing. Another rotation around the sun? Yes, I'll take it. All right, so happy birthday. Do we have any anniversaries, any milestones that we celebrated this week? Okay. I heard somebody say my life. Yes, that is a milestone. You got it. I'll take that too. And then finally, if this was a week when you had a little ache and pain in those knees or hips or something, just kind of, whoa, what's that? Let me see your hand. Okay, yes. I see two hands. All right. That's right. One for Bonnie, yes. And we also affirm in our community, we have many who are moving through a healing journey in the form of grief. So we know that there is no finish line, right? It's not like, oh, okay, a year has passed or 2 years has passed. It's actually something that we learn to live with. And so we want to just wrap our arms around all those in our community who are moving through that grieving journey. And then also we have loved ones. I say it at the end of service every week. Let's just look back and wave. That's because we have loved ones who are unable to be here physically, but are very much a part of our community. So we love all of our family who aren't here physically, but we feel your energy. So in our evocation, if we say there is only love, if we say that, and if we believe it, that means what we breathe in, we're calling oxygen, but it's really love. Does that make sense? So if we're calling these lungs and organs those simple names, actually it's really love. We are breathing and being breathed by love. And so if we affirm that truth, and I do, let's rub our hands together like we're getting ready for a good meal. And I want you to extend those hands to those around you and repeat after me. We see you. We know you for who you truly are.
We know you for who you truly are.
God in expression.
God in expression.
We celebrate you.
Celebrate you.
We love you.
We love you.
And we wrap our arms around you
And we wrap our arms around you
on your sacred walk.
on your sacred walk.
All right, so keep those hands up and kind of say, hey, girl, what's up? I see you. We were supposed to get lunch, but you stood me up. Okay, right? Right? Okay. And then, so what I want y'all to do is, what I would love to happen is we're going to have a potluck, right? And many of us get our meal and sit with people we know, right? Or we get our meal and scoot out, okay? What I'm asking is that we get our meal and we get to know somebody that we may not know that well. Is that fair enough? Okay, so this is our oneness moment. So we have a candle to symbolize our unity. So we're called Unity of Gainesville, and this is our symbol for that unity. And then finally, as Rodrigo said, we are honoring our crown chakra for the next couple of weeks. Can we say crown?
Crown.
Can you say, I'm wearing my crown?
I'm wearing my crown.
You sure are. You sure are. Okay.
Okay, we have a couple of announcements. The first one is the Never Alone Club. If any of you are living alone or you need support, there's a club here that was started by Carla and Marcy. And I'm not sure, would you like to briefly say anything about it? Since you host the club.
Okay. Right now, we're in the process of organizing, and we're going to have a Christmas party. We know that, and we know who's having it. But if you want to be in the group, it's we would like for you to fill out a form, so because we're serious about this, and it started with Reverend Marcy having to go to the hospital for a friend of hers, and she ran into all kinds of red tape, you know, and all that kind of thing. And so she said, you know, this is what we need for people that live alone. And so if any of you who are living alone would like to join, the details are unfolding. I have another one too. It's time to bring in some new members to Unity. And so if you are interested in having a new member class, see me after the service, and we will put your name down and everything, and try to get a date to have the teaching. It's a teaching class, you know, and then that way we would have a date that's good for everybody, and we'll commence with that.
Thank you. And then, of course, we want to welcome everyone and invite everyone to stay after and join us in our potluck today. So that's just, I'm sure everyone already is aware of that, but we just want to make another special announcement to make sure that if you're not aware, there's going to be food after the service today. And then another announcement we have is we have a spiritual growth support group, which is on hold until January 6th. And then when it resumes, they will be, Christina, who's the host of this activity, will be teaching practical spirituality. So that resumes January 6th.
Thanks so much. A couple quick announcements. So our golf cart went kaput, right? But the good news is we raised, I believe, enough funds to be able to get it up and going again, right? Yes. I want to acknowledge all of there are a lot of donations that came in, and they prefer to be anonymous, but we want to give love to all those who donated to the golf cart. So thank you for your patience, because I know many of us do rely on a golf cart to be able to get in. And then preceding that, we had a $10,000 goal to refurbish our deck, and we made that goal. So yes. thank you to everybody who've been giving to like make all this work. And just know that as with all things, change is inevitable. And so, you know, sometimes it's gotta change a battery here or there. And so one of the things that we're also navigating is our sound system. And so the sound system is okay, but as you'll see, we're like sharing microphones and, you know, it's doing the best it can. And so at a certain point, we're gonna shift gears and start raising funds for our sound system. And then we're gonna have more support for Penta. We'll get the band up here. So y'all, we are doing it, okay? We are doing it. And I want you to know that each and every one of you are part of the expansion and growth that happens in our community. Okay, there is one more thing, Reverend Charlotte, if I can give you the microphone, can you give us an update? So it was Reverend Charlotte's idea to do the food bank. And so can you talk to us about what that was, that experience, and then what we had?
Absolutely. My plan was actually to slip in a little update before doing the community or the inspiration, so this is perfect. So first of all, thank you everyone who donated goods. We had a bunch of food that I was able to take over to the free Gainesville grocery store. It's this wonderful nonprofit. They don't require information from the people receiving the goods. This was the reason I chose this organization. They don't ask for citizen status. They don't ask for any information, so it's just going to people that need the food. We originally started it because the government was on a shutdown, SNAP was gonna close, government's opening back up, but it's the holidays, and right now, more than ever, I think people still really need help and need resources. So I say, let's keep this food bank going through the holiday season. If you have anything extra in your house you can spare, and it's not just goods, it's also cleaning supplies, feminine products, things, trash bags, things that people would just need in their home to be able to get by. Yes, Anne.
I just read that if you see a sale 2 for 1, get both and donate one to the food bank and keep the other.
That's a great
That's a
idea.
wonderful idea, Anne. Thank you. Yes. So where we're keeping the basket is in the gathering area, just when you're looking at the coffee to the right, you'll see this little basket that says food pantry. I'm also going to be taking a cart out of my car to put there, but it's the pot love, so we didn't want to take up too much space. Yes, Bonnie.
Wondering if there's a particular day during the week that we could drop by with offerings.
So I guess that would be when Unity's open.
Exactly. So our normal business hours are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. But as always, if you've got to do a quick drop by, we can make something work.
Oh, okay, Wednesday's good.
Yeah. She said Wednesday's good.
And if you aren't able to make it during those times, who would we contact to make it work?
I would say me, but my cell phone would be blowing up anyway. So let me find a designated person, and then we'll let you blow them up.
Well, I was gonna say, I could be the designated person if I don't have a key to this place though. But I'm happy to be the contact I'm the contact for this whole project anyway, so maybe I could then work with anyways, we'll figure it out. But thank you again for all of your donations. It's really making a difference in many people's lives.
Reverend Charlotte, what's the organization that doesn't take the ID or like it gives freely? to
Yeah,
people
it's
that
the
need it?
Gainesville Free Grocery Store, and they're completely volunteer-led. It's a bunch of mainly young people just coming together to want to make a difference in the community. And going by and dropping off the food was beautiful, honestly, to see the community, how much of the community is coming together when we are in need. So thank you for being a part of that mission.
Thank you.
And then that will take us right into the inspiration for today. We're coming from the Daily Word for Sunday, November 23rd. The quote is, "I rest securely knowing I am divinely protected." Protection is more than physical safety. It is the deep assurance that no harm can befall me at the level of spirit. I am guided and sustained by the infinite intelligence and love of spirit. This protection is not fear-based, but faith-based, a deep understanding that no matter what appears in the outer world, the Christ presence within me is my enduring spiritual protection. This awareness helps me put the news of the world in proper perspective. As I align my thoughts and feelings with spiritual truth, I feel safe. Affirming divine protection allows me to live boldly, knowing I am not alone. I am surrounded, enfolded, and protected by the presence and power of God.
Thank you. I forgot one more announcement. Okay, so we have a panoramic experience, but for our members who are unable to join us in person, they're limited to the camera, and our camera is going kaput. And so right now, this is literally the angle they get is right? So anyway, just know that I was mentioning our progress to say we're pointing at something else, okay? So thanks, y'all, for all of your donations. Know that what you give keeps us going and thriving. And so we want to just give love to those who are unable to be here physically. And one of the big elements is the camera hasn't been operating properly. And so if you've been home watching on Zoom, you know how frustrating it is. Okay, last one. All right, Penta.
That is a really good point, Reverend Ryan, about these projects that we've been putting our time and our energy and our funds behind. They are happening, and I find that personally very exciting to know, hey, we've got a goal and look, we've achieved it. So I'm grateful for our common purpose and all the things that we're able to create together. I'm going to sing one of my favorite Thanksgiving songs today, and this is about being at the table with our loved ones and what that means, because we know it's not just about the food. I mean, if it was, we'd just sit by ourselves and eat, right? But it's about connection and community, and so and what it really means to share and break bread with others. At this table, everyone is welcome. At this table, everyone is seen. At this table, everybody matters. No one falls between. At this table, you can say whatever. At this table, you can speak your mind. At this table, everything's forgiven. There's enough for everyone. So come as you are. Remember that the door is always open. Come as you are. The perfect gift that you can bring is your heart. So come as you are. At this table, there will be no judgment. At this table, mercy has a seat. At this table, we're all sons and daughters. There's no place I'd rather be. So come as you are. Remember that the door is always open. Come as you are. The perfect gift that you can bring is your heart. So come table, everyone is welcome. At this table, everybody cares. At this table, everybody matters. So come pull up a chair. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pencil Rose. Repeat after me. Those who cannot remember their history
Remember their history,
are condemned to repeat it.
are condemned to repeat it.
So we know that saying, right? What we often do is we bastardize it. We might say doomed to repeat it, right? We'll put our own little flavor on it, right? You repeat the mistakes. And I recently learned from our research article that that phrase is actually one of the most common misquoted phrases, because we desire to know that those who are condemned to what? I just messed it up. Those who do not remember their past are condemned to repeat it. The thing is, and that comes from George Santayana. It was in 1905 that he wrote down what he believed to be ageless wisdom for the common man in 1905. And so then it's attributed to Winston Churchill. It's attributed to other people, even down to our presidents, especially around nuclear conflict. My point is, we have this origin base. It resonates so true that the actual articulation doesn't quite matter. Does that make sense? The spirit of it matters. So the origin point may not have as much importance. I'll give you an example. Who knows the origin of Thanksgiving? Not the Pilgrims, that's not it. It was actually created by Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War. So other presidents had called the day for reflection and remembrance and Thanksgiving, but he was the first who actually considered it a national holiday. The nation was fractured in a civil war. And so the origin, I mean, it matters, but what we do is we celebrate and honor the opportunity to come together, to love on each other, to celebrate. Is always this time of year that we find a sense of longing for family, right? Reminiscing. And even if we have created families, that's not necessarily biological. We have our families. And this is that time. But the origin of Thanksgiving Day is actually steeped in violence. So if we say, those who cannot remember their past are condemned to repeat it, and then that phrase twists and turns and becomes other things, the spirit of it remains true. My point is, the spirit of Thanksgiving remains true. While we may not be in the midst of a civil war, what permeates is that sense of longing for community, a longing for things to be better. All right, I want to give y'all a quick story. So if you came here yesterday, you would have seen about 30 college students that turned this entire sanctuary into a film shoot, okay? And so if you walked into the gathering room, you would have saw all this white paint because the film was about mimes, okay? And they were having a ball. I was in my office getting the work done, and I could hear them in here having a ball. And so at a certain point, a couple of them forgot that I was back there. And so, you know, it's wonderful when you can hear people's true feelings. It's a gift. It's a gift that we don't give to each other, right? We're like masking and it's a veneer, right? Everybody's perky and happy to see each other. It's like, really? Are we really like that, right? But every once in a while, you get a glimpse. So I'm in my back office, and I hear a couple of them perusing through the bookstore. And one of them says, "Oh, what is this? Is this a church?" And another one says, "Yeah, that gets on my nerves. We have Buddhist books over here. What is this? What? Just make up your mind already." And then another one says, "Oh yeah, don't worry. It's one of those woke churches." I was like, okay. I didn't know we had that identity. And they were saying some other things, y'all. They were going in. And so I'm trying to type on my computer, and I'm like, what? And as tempted as I am to go say, "Hey, y'all, I'm Reverend Ryan. I heard everything." As tempted as I am, my job is just to listen, right? What are the optics for a 21-year-old coming into this space for the first time who have no idea what we are, but see meditations at 9 a.m. and see these banners that kind of encapsulate who we are? They see these other things that says, "You are one, God is one, we're all connected." What is that? Who are these people? What I came to realize is what they were attempting to navigate, right, is the very thing that they are desiring to shake free of. Here's what I mean. So after the film was done, I said, "Where's the director at? Okay, can you tell her I want to talk to her? And then your producers, can you bring them as well?" And so they thought they were in trouble. So they came scurrying in. And I said, "Hey, y'all, can we talk?" What I shared with them is we embody what it means to be inclusive. Now, here's the thing. Inclusive and diverse are problematic words, I'll tell you. Inclusive for whom? So when you say we're inclusive, what that means is we have a container, and we're going to include you into this container. So when I say inclusive is problematic, what I'm getting at is the very nature of the framing means that there is denial and there is acceptance. You got me? So to be truly inclusive, we gotta break open that language. And I'll give you an example, another one, diverse. Now listen, I love me some diversity. I'm here, right? But diverse from what? Diverse from whom? So again, if we're in a community and we say we're going to allow diversity, what we're getting at is we're a homogenized group, and we're going to allow those who are different into the group. What we inevitably do is we create the othering, right? That is just the nature of how we function in these societies, right? We have, y'all, I'm about to go there. We have nations that are bound by demarcations on a map, right? And if you say, I'm on this side of the street, this is my culture, these are my people. But on this side of the street, this is my culture, these are my people. There are areas where the Canada and North America divide is literally a street. A street. Can you imagine? Like on one side of the street, no, you're Canadian, right? So what I'm getting at is the very nature of who we are as people, we create demarcations. So what I'm getting at is those young people were making a film about being accepted. The film was about these mimes who was longing for community. They were longing to be accepted in a world who saw them as other. That's what the film was about. And what I told the directors was, I said, wow, it's powerful that your film was about that, yet the optics of this environment looks confusing to some of your people, right? This is what this looks like embodied, right? As storytellers, we can create really clean lines. We can create a beginning, a middle, and an end, right? What I'm getting at is the story is nice and neat, right? You turn on the film, it has a beginning, a climax, and a resolution. A commercial that's 30 seconds, it has a beginning, a climax, and a resolution. Buy the product. When we tell a story, it has a beginning, middle, and end. I just told the story about these young people who were shooting a film in here. It had a beginning, middle, and end. Yet, that's not how life happens. Am I right? There is no beginning. I mean, I guess you could say when we were born, but we are more than just that moment of our inception. We are our parents and our elders and our ancestors' experience. We are standing on the shoulders of all these generations who came before us. We have what's called genetic memory. Scientists don't know why butterflies do what they do. One of the reasons they say is genetic memory. We have no idea how butterflies know to fly 3,000 miles. We don't know. And one guess is genetic memory. I'll give you an example of what genetic memory looks like. There was a study recently where a mouse was zapped every time it heard a sound. It took 20 generations later before the mouse, its children, if you will, would hear the sound and not run to the corner of a cage. 20 generations. That's genetic memory. That's data. That's science, right? And so life is not a beginning, middle, and end, right? At the top of service, when I talk about loved ones and that process of grieving, there is no finish line because they're not done. We're not done. We're holding their memory. They're with us. We see a butterfly, it's like, oh my God, I feel like Jim is here. Yes, he is. Y'all with me? There is no beginning, middle, and end. But to create nice and clean, tight packages, we create narratives that have a clear beginning, a clear middle, and a clear end. What I'm offering is those demarcations are unnatural. And I'm a storyteller. I'm a filmmaker. Those demarcations are unnatural, right? Who we really are, we color outside the lines. We don't fit neatly in packages. I mean, I'm preaching to the choir. None of us do in this room. Not a single one of us in here follow the curve. No, we are going to chart our own path. We go into the woods with a machete. We found it. And oh my goodness, there goes Sneethy over there, right? We out in the woods together. Y'all got me? For the young people who I overheard speaking, when I heard them challenged by what was embodied in our bookstore, when I heard them challenged by our vision, mission, and core values, when I heard them challenged by who are these people? What do they believe? Can they just make up their mind? When I hear that, what I'm really hearing is their desire to frame. And that desire is something that they've been imposed upon too. Their whole life, they've been told to choose, to pick. Go to college, pick a major, and it gotta be the best one. Sit down, be quiet, raise your hand when you wanna speak. You will be called upon. Walk in a straight line. Here's the deadline for that assignment. Here's the attendance policy. I'm so sorry, you're gonna fail this class. Right? Their whole life has been framed by a beginning, middle, and end. And so to be in a physical environment that does not look legible, what is that? What does that do for them? It's unsettling. It's unsettling. Because if you're in an environment where you see somebody play outside the sandbox, that only makes you grow tighter to, whoa, what is going on here? This doesn't look familiar. And it shakes the foundation of how you framed your experience before then. Am I making sense? So what I'm saying is, that's challenging. For all my new folk, our denomination is love. Okay? Check it out. And one of the reasons why I asked the SSLs, the Sunday service leaders, to ask if there are new people, because I like to give a little plug as to what we are. Because I know the young people just said out loud what some people already think. Who are these people, right? And so during the evocation and during the announcements, I usually say a little plug as to who we are. Because we move into spaces longing for a frame to fit things in a box, right? And so if I had to frame it, I'd call it love. I'd also say, using Bill's language, there are many paths to the same destination. Many paths to the same spot. That same place of awakening, that same place of clarity. When you go into meditation, that same gut, hunch, instinct, whatever we call it, it's the same substance. And there are many paths. Some of us like a ritual. Some of us like to burn candles. Some of us like to talk to a priest. Some of us like to go into a mountain to do a silent retreat. Whatever your practice is all good. If you ain't hurting nobody, yes. There are many paths to the same place. And in this room, that's what unifies us. It's called unity, for God's sake. What is the unity? The unity is the clarity that there are many paths, and you are not wrong. When you were a kid and you had that little spiritual gift that you were afraid of, or when you were an adult and you could see and feel energy, but you didn't want to speak up, whatever your gift is, that thing that you hid and didn't say anything about, because some of y'all come to me after service, right? I know we got a lot of spiritual gifts in this room. We're going to have a coming out day. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. One day, I'm going to clear all the chairs out. Y'all going to come in Sunday service and be like, what's going on? I said, y'all, we having a coming out party. That's what we doing. Because believe it or not, many of you in this room are gifted. Whether it's healing touch, we can call it Reiki if we want, right? Whether it's prayer, y'all, I won't even get into how deep it goes in this room. But there are many gifts in this room. And the reality is, because we come from traditions that frame, we tend to suppress and set on the back burner that thing that comes naturally. And I'm arguing that if we lift the rails, if we lift that artificial barrier, imagine how vibrant this place would look. I mean, we already look good. The fact that those young people were like, who are these people? We did it. We nailed it. The fact that they see a sign that says meditations at 9 a.m. and they're like, what does divine love even mean? We did our purpose. What I'm asking us to consider is the frame itself is no different than the thing that they've been housed upon in their whole life. And we are in the act of releasing the frame. Oh my goodness, I'll give you an example. So every morning on Sunday, I go get flowers. And we're a nonprofit. And so thankfully, we don't have to pay taxes on things that serve our community. So I'm getting the roses. And when the cashier fills out, our little information, they have to put down a reason for why this organization gets doesn't pay taxes are 96 cents. And so I've always said it's a religious ceremony, right? That's the best I could come up with. Right? This is not a religious ceremony, but it's the best I could come up with that's like right in that pocket. Like, you can call me Reverend Ryan, right? That's legible. But when you say Reverend in another space, it's like it's a particular type of path that Reverend holds, okay? So we use Reverend Carla, Reverend Ryan, Reverend Marcy, Reverend Charlotte. We use these names, right? But in a way, it's a way to be legible to the larger community. Obviously, we did some serious studying, but outside of that, it's a way to be legible. So last Sunday, I'm getting our flowers, and the cashier says, "Oh, so what's the purpose?" I say, "A religious ceremony." She said, "Oh, yeah, we can't write that anymore. Is it mass?" And I was like, "Yeah, go ahead. That works. That works." So this morning, they're like, "Mass?" And I'm like, "Yes, mass." Now, the reality is, I'm needing to translate who and what we are in real time. In real time. I look like a reverend, y'all. I don't know if you know it. When I walk somewhere, it's like, "Can you pray for me, Pastor?" It happens all the time. I'm in the parking lot. If I'm dressed like this, somebody says, "Hey, Pastor, where's your church at?" Right? There is a legibility to look in a certain kind of way. If you're wearing a suit on Sunday morning, you probably be a pastor. Okay? Right? I'm just telling you. So we are in spaces attempting to be legible in an environment that demands frames. Because if the frame is not there, guess what? You are a threat. You are dangerous. You need to be observed, dare I say, surveilled. I'm not saying anything new. Those who what? We already messed it up. My point is, the essence of that quote resonates as true, whether or not we remember condemned to repeat it, doomed to repeat it. Those who do not remember their past are condemned to repeat it. The past tells us you had to be legible. The past tells us if you weren't legible, you had to put an item on your shirt, on your chest, to be legible. The past said that in the absence of phenotype, we have to do something to recognize you. And so for the young people who were confused by what is this place, what they were longing for clarity. They were longing to put this in a denomination so they can make it make sense. And what I'm offering is the very act of coloring outside the line takes practice. And y'all, I'm in it too. An hour ago, I got those flowers. And I'm like, how do I say, okay, so here's the thing. I'm a minister. You can call me Reverend Ryan. Our community is called Unity of Gainesville. We're a global, inclusive spiritual community. It's not a church, but you could call it that. It's a spiritual community. How does the service look? It looks like a church. We have special music. We have a talk, lesson, sermon. Yeah, you can call it a sermon. So imagine the dance of what you call this, right? And by now, they just want a reason. What do I write on this little bracket? Okay, so global, inclusive, spiritual community, meets on Sundays. He's a reverend and is not quite a Yeah, right, y'all. Give me a break. But that's a practice. Because the more we pop up, the more we show up and say, there is only love, the more we say that we are connected, the more we say we're here because love is what unites us, the more we say there are many paths to God, many names, the more we say you are welcome just as you are. Guess what happened when I talked to the directors after that little conversation? She said, how do I learn more? Is there something you can give me so we can come back? Because I know what you're saying, this is what we're looking for. And I said, Anna, funny you should say. So the mere process of holding space, and even if it takes long to get the definition out, if we call it definition, the response, if it's steeped in love, will always be matched in kind with love. So while I'm talking to these young people saying, here's how you come into a space, filmmaker to filmmaker, the process of production is extraction. You brought your entire film crew in this place and there isn't an exchange. How do we create an environment where even in the absence of exchange, we can be in community? How do we take care of the space? How do we give? How do we close the loop? And after that conversation, the answer is, I want to come back. I want to come back. And I know they too. As we move into our Thanksgiving, I'm affirming that our history has a place, right? But that history does not have to define us. The history of this very holiday is steeped in violence and war and trauma. The history of this holiday. Yet that history does not have to define us. When we move into community with our families, some of us, y'all, we got some tough relationships with our families. And y'all about to go into the fire. Okay? Or you like, you know what? I'm not doing it this year, and that's okay too. What I'm offering is that history does not have to define where you are and where you're moving forward. The hurt that you experience with your loved ones does not have to define how you're moving forward. It's a part of it, inextricably, but it does not have to define it. I'll close with this. So we have Shanna Smith. She does concerts. Her stage name is Shanna Banana for kids. That's why I call her Shanna Banana. So Shanna is a Zen Buddhist, and so she gives many of our talks. And a couple weeks ago, I told Shanna, I said, Shanna, I found this Buddhist priest who said something that I've heard many, many times, but it just zapped. It just resonated differently. So if you know anything about Buddhism, there are like the greatest hits of Buddhism, right? So one of the greatest hits is impermanence. Can we say impermanence? So impermanence is literally something that does not remain fixed. It is constantly in change. And so what this Buddhist priest said was, this idea of impermanence looks simply allowing people to show up in the world exactly as they desire. He said, if you're going to show up in the world in the way that you want to desire, how come they can't as well? Oh my goodness. Don was like, wow. Yes, my brother, yes. Let's break this down really quick. If we are desiring to be loving, kind, compassionate, giving people who are on a spiritual walk, that's our desire, right? The idea of impermanence is because we have that choice, someone else who chooses a different path, that's their right. That is their absolute right to live and experience this life exactly as they desire. So if someone desires an environment or an experience that's steeped in hurt and pain and vitriol and toxicity, that's their choice. Am I making sense, y'all? Y'all, that blew my mind. I was like, oh my goodness. Who cares that we are on a path to become better people, better humans, better spiritual beings? Who cares if we do not allow the same grace for others? The thing is, y'all, there is a natural click into judgment that happens. When we see something, we judge it. Guess what, y'all? We frame it. We place an identifier on it. We box it. And then we say, that's that. Right? But in Zen Buddhism, they have the right to live and experience this life in whatever they desire. That is love. So when we hit the gong and we say there is only love, that is love. Love in action, that's our principle, that's our core value. Love in action is to see another, not as an outsider, not as needing to be included, not because we're going to allow diversity, but to allow someone to live in their experience because they have the right to do the same thing. Our responsibility is to, yes, live this life, love on each other, be open, be compassionate, give, support each other, and free the guardrails that attempt to define another. Our job is to allow people to show up in the world exactly as they desire. So if they see the world as full of bitterness and hurt, we have to love them as they are. We have people in our families, we got best friends who see the world in a way that we don't resonate with. But they have every right to show up in the world in the way they desire, in the same way that we do. Y'all thought we were just gonna eat food today. Y'all thought we was chilling. I mean, we are chilling. But what I'm offering is this. There is a history. There's not a simple beginning, middle, and end. And who we are is so much more than the identifiers we put on others and ourselves. We're so much more. We are so much more. Who are you? Love. 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 Can we take that in? If it's your practice, I invite you to close your outer eye. I invite you to allow the seat to fully support you. And in these next moments, something is coming through for you, something was said that tapped something, something was sung, something was given. And I'm inviting you to take these few moments to rest in the stillness. In this divine moment, we affirm that there is only love, and that everything that we've experienced up to now and beyond is steeped in love, is love. And so as we move through this day, this week, this month, and years to come, we bring forward the truth of who we truly are: love and action. A love that permeates all understanding. Our truest nature is love. And so it is. So it is. So it is. I love y'all. Yes. I love y'all. This is love in action. This is love in action. All right, y'all, before we get ready to eat, we're going to move into our giving. So whatever it is you have, I want you to just place it over your heart, and we're going to bless it. Roderick, can you do me a favor? Wherever you feel loved, not loved, wherever you feel led, I'll say that, because there's love everywhere. So Roderick, before we do that, we're going to do a quick prayer over our blessing. Repeat after me. Divine love.
Divine love
Expressed in me.
expressed in me
Through me. As me. Blesses and multiplies all that I have.
so multiplies all that I have,
All that I give.
all that I give,
And all that I receive.
and all that I receive.
And so it is. So y'all, you know giving is a loop. So when you give, you're actually closing that loop and you are in the flow. All right, thank you so much.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, oh, it's a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, it's a wonderful world. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Penta. I said, wow, it would be amazing if Penta had albums. And I realized, yes, Penta is a published musician. And so if you're interested, just do a quick plug. So she's on Spotify. Where else are you on?
I mean, any
of them.
streaming platform.
Any streaming
All of
platform.
them.
So there are times when I'm like, oh my goodness, that's right. We are in the presence of years of mastery. Thank you so much for sharing your gift
Thank
with
you.
us. Yeah,
Thank you so much.
we appreciate you. So we have the kiddos coming in a moment. Yes, and they'll be here soon. So y'all hang tight for their grand appearance. That's right.
Well, we can start singing and usher them in.
Yeah, it sounds like a plan.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, you know, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Unity of Gainesville, I'm gonna let it shine. Unity of Gainesville, I'm gonna let it shine. Unity of Gainesville, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Feel it in your heart, everybody, we're gonna let it shine. Feel it in your heart, I'm gonna let it shine. Feel it in your heart, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Wait, I missed. Oh, there's Israel. There they are. I was going to say I had 6 when I left the room, and I told them I was expecting 14 because we made
count your blessings, don't be a turkey, and they had pumpkins, and they had to write on there what they were thankful for. And I told them I made 14 of those last night, and only 6 people showed up. But they were the right 6.
That's right.
So we were talking about, before we went to our art table, we talked about gratitude. And what has God done for you today? Not over your lifetime, but what do you do today? What are you grateful for? And so we had a great discussion, especially about bearded dragons.
All right. Thank you, Miss Gwen. If we could stand if we're able, and we're going to bless our kiddos here and all over our families and neighborhoods. So rub your hands together and repeat after me. Children, you are perfect just the way you are. And we can read together, the divine, magnificent outpicturing of Source. Everything you desire is yours because you and God are one. We love you, we really, really love you. All right, y'all, let's circle up.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator. Family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds us. We are light. The love of God unfolds us. We are love. The power of God protects us. We are power. The presence of God watches over us. We are presence. Wherever you are, God is. And we are divine, and all is well. All right, y'all, one last thing. If we could look at the camera in the back, we just want to love on our loved ones who are not able to be here. We can't wait to wrap our arms around you. We see you as healthy and whole. All right, y'all, have a good meal and have a good Thanksgiving.